She was practically crawling, using numb fingers to help pull herself to the cave. Annie made it to the crest of the slope and straightened up, catching her breath. She remembered the pack rat nest she'd seen at Grandma's place, out past the Hogan, when life was better, before her Shimasane died, and her brother had his accident and everything changed. Would the cave be a good place for a pack rat? Or for Shush, a bear snoozing off her fall fat and waiting to emerge in the spring, maybe with some cubs? She didn't like the idea of disturbing a sleeping bear. The flashlight's beam reflected off the black rocks at the cave's mouth and illuminated wavy white lines and stick figures before the beam disappeared into the darkness. The figures made her think of something a little kid would draw, simple light marks on the dark stone. Mrs. Cooper had mentioned that they might see something like this and told the girls not to touch them. Annie ran her finger over a spiral. The image captured the moon's milky light. Cool, she thought. The pictures looked like something her brother might make. She could hear Mother telling him not to draw on the walls. Maybe this little brat's mom told him the same thing. To get the flashlight to shine inside the cave, she had to sink to her knees. The tremor in her hand made the faint beam dance against the blackness. She inched her way toward the entrance, the light preceding her like bad news. She saw nothing threatening. The light bounced off her wrist, and Annie Rainsong glanced at her forbidden tattoo, the skull her mother hated. She'd always thought it was cool, but now she looked away and used her light to search the cave, finding no rats or rats' nests or anything that looked bear-like. She sat on the rock ledge at the entrance of the cave, put down her flashlight, pulled up the collar on her jacket, and shoved her hands in the pockets. She wasn't even hungry or thirsty anymore, only bone cold and scared and ready to die. Maybe there was a bear in the very back of the cave, where her light didn't go. Maybe the bear would find her and eat her or feed her to the cubs. That would be all right, she thought. Better than having her own mom yell at her for being a screw-up. Better than having Mrs. Cooper tell her she'd messed up the whole trip for the group by not following the rules. Everyone cared about the rules. Nobody cared about her. The cave would be a hard place for Mr. Cruz to find her, but it would be a safe place to die. She was glad those big rocks blocked most of the entrance. They would keep animals out, unless something was already inside. The cave smelled funny. She didn't like the thought of a coyote finding her. It was bad enough when she heard them howling, and she remembered that time when she was little and she and Grandmother had come across the sheep, or what was left of it, that the coyotes had just killed. Annie started to relax. The cave was safer than that stupid, flimsy tent they gave her. She was okay here, she told herself. She heard the sound of her own breathing and the beat of her heart pushing blood up to her ears. She leaned back, feeling the cold stone wall through her coat, staying close to the entrance. It bothered her that she couldn't see what was beyond the beam of her flashlight, but being outside bothered her even more. She would wait for the sunrise, and as soon as it got light she'd start to yell for Mr. Cruz, or go back to hiking, watching for those stupid towers of rocks, the Karens or something, to find the dumb campsite. Annie Rainsong took pride in her toughness. Nobody in school, when she went to school, messed with her. Teachers left her alone, except for some Bilagana do-gooders. If any adults looked at her with pity because of her brother, she gave them a hard glare that said, "Hands off!" She'd sit in the cave and wait for a vision, or wait to die. Who cared about a stupid vision anyway? She could make that up if she had to. She readjusted her back against the sharp lava. It wouldn't be so bad to die out here, she thought.